Great. Good morning, everybody. I know people are starting to join us here, so you're very welcome to this webinar. We're just going to give people a little bit of time to join the room and to enter in. I know Zoom can take a little bit of time, so as a habit of ours, we talk about the weather. So it's a kind of a grey and still morning for me here this morning in Wicklow. So if you get a chance, you might just drop a comment into the chat bubble and let me know that you can hear me in terms of tech, that you can hear, and let us know what the weather's like is doing in your area. And yeah, I can see people spilling in there, so that's good. I don't see any comments if there's somebody in chat. That's great. Morning, Marina. Morning, Natalie. In Douro in Laois, lovely part of the world. Happy days. And Cork. I knew Cork would be in before long. It never takes long until till Cork jump in. So that's great. But yeah, people still joining the room actually. So thank you for that. So look, I really want to say that I respect your time. Up Limerick. Very good. I want to say that I respect your time in joining us this morning and very conscious of that and conscious of that time too. So that we're going to move through today and very much the goal today for me, I think, is to give you a good sense of the program, let you know what Great Place to Work is all about. We've had some questions in advance, but during the webinar, please pop some questions into the question and answer box, and I will be able to come to those at the end, so that we'll be able to move through. So for those that are joining for the first time, you're very welcome. Some of you I've spoken to already and are just coming back in again to get another overview. So while people are joining, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about Great Place to Work and what we do in the community of Great Place to Work. And we have a podcast that we call Red Cube, which we continue throughout the year, and have covered a number of excuse me, I'm just having a little issue here with the moving the slide forward on my side for some reason. So the podcast is called the Red Cube, and already in this year we've covered areas like supporting parents, building and sustaining great workplaces, and employer branding. So all important areas that are key to your organization and a really good listen there. So Marina is supporting me here today from a tech background perspective. And Marina, I'm having trouble just on the slides. They're not moving forward for me for some reason. Thank you. And you've saved the day. I seem to have two screens open. So apologies on that, a little bit of a slow start. So this is the Red Cube that I mentioned. And as I say, we've covered already some key areas and a really good listen. Certainly in your downtime during Christmas, you might have an opportunity to listen to some of those areas. And then on the next slide, we've just issued a report yesterday to the broader community of our Great Place to Work clients, and this is all around our practices. So if you could just move on to the next slide for me, Marina, if possible. That would be great. And this report, you can download it. The QR code should jump up on the screen for you there in a minute. And what it is we produce these reports during the year, and it's an opportunity to capture and learn from best practice across the Great Place to Work community. So there's some great practices in there around supporting women, recognition practices, employee feedback. So you'll get to hear from the likes of Tato and Woody's, Sarasep, Genesis, the IRFU, and some more organizations. So a really good opportunity there. And Marina has posted the link into the chat there for you to be able to download that report as well. So I'm just going to hook up on some slides here. Bear with me one second. Now, so you'll be able to use that QR code to download as well. And as I say, I know Marina has shared in the chat box as well. So that's a great opportunity. and a great read. And now on to this morning. What we're going to do is really talk about the processes, as I say, and we will have some polls to capture where you're at. But what I would say is very much what I'd like to do is see these webinars as something that you're participating in and that you can participate in. And I'll be here to share some general information, but also more so to answer your questions as we go along. I'm sorry, I'm just having trouble with this slide again. I don't want to keep apologizing, but I just can't seem to move that slide. Bear with me one moment now. There we go. Sorry, I found a different set of controls here. So as I say, we will have two polls, and really like you to participate and to engage in today in the Q&A function. So what we always say is any organization can be a great place to work and can build a great culture, and our mission is to do that with you. And here are some of the the most well-known recognitions in terms of best workplaces that we offer. So you'll see we have best workplace for health and well-being, for hospitality, a sector one in tech, and then the national lists of best workplaces in Ireland. And these are our best known recognitions and a great opportunity for you to be recognized as an organization. So the first poll we have for you this morning is really a question around do you believe that your workplace is a great place to work? So if you just, that's a simple yes or no. If you could tick that one, it's always interesting to find out where organizations see themselves at this stage. And then great place to work is not just about recognitions. We have the certification process, but obviously we offer insights in workplace culture, employee surveys, talent attraction and retention, and of course, employer branding. Let me just let you fill in those polls. Great. So the results are in. A week after Stormdar and a week after the election, the results are in nice and quickly here. So no proportional representation here. So what we see is 83% of the people in the room this morning believe that they're already a great place to work, and it'll be interesting to hear what they view and what they see as important in making a great place to work. And 17% know that they're not yet a great place to work. And this is great. I would say normally we see it more like 50-50, because when we work with organizations, it's important for me to say that we meet you where you are as an organization. So obviously it's self-selecting, but we do have organizations who have done some preparation in the past and now believe they're a great place to work and want to enter the process. But we engage with organizations on a 3-year basis. And very much the understanding here is that there isn't preparation involved, that there is no perfect time. So the core of what we have is an employee experience survey. So it's a moment in time. So if you don't achieve certification recognition in year 1, that's absolutely fine. We're here to help and support organizations right through the process and as we go along. And thank you for the feedback around the other areas that you're interested in. So this very much around the process, this slide, and this one I'll spend a little bit of time on if I can, and look at the 4 steps. As I touched on already, at the core of what we have is an employee experience survey. And I suppose what to me makes something is very proud for us, a great place to work, is around when an organization is recognized, it's based on the feedback of your people. So what it's not a submission-based piece where an organization will submit a document and it's judged, or that there is sporadic interviews across the organization. It's actually based on your employee feedback from your survey. And I know some people out there may not understand that initially. In the past, we've had some organizations who have felt they run their own internal survey first and then enter the great place to work process. There's not a need to do that. at the core of what we have is the employee experience survey. So where here you have a range of statements in a survey that capture across 17 categories. So the survey is giving you both feedback and then the opportunity based on the scoring to be recognized, and that is to be certified firstly. So the employee experience survey, we invite everybody in the organization to fill in the survey. We're capturing a map of the organization before the survey is launched, and we do that in a call with your client success contact. So once you're registered, we set up a call with your client success manager, and they will prepare you in terms of pre-survey launch and preparation, and then launching the actual survey. While the survey is live, you'll have an opportunity to see what the response rate looks like across the business, and we keep that survey open for 2 weeks. And that gives everybody ample opportunity to fill in the survey, and we have an automatic reminder. But the pre-survey communication is really important to give people confidence around confidentiality, anonymity, and what the intention of the organization is to do in the process, and to support their people. So they will very much communicate that we're engaging with Great Place to Work with a view to being certified over the next 3 years. And that really sets the scene. So that's the survey. And as I say, that's the centerpiece. Another document that we look for is a brief document where you tell us the headlines around your organization. And we use this to profile your organization once you're certified. We use that to populate headlines that you have shared with us. And importantly, then you have access on a page on our website to build out your employer brand story once you're certified, whether that's in year 1, year 2, or year 3, whenever that happens. So then the survey is closed, and at this stage then we have your results and we have your data. And what we want to do is come back into your organization, to the leadership team, and whoever you choose should be in the room to hear the results and work through your data. And as I mentioned, those 17 categories already, to work through those and use benchmarks. We really have the best range of benchmarks in the country, and these are vital. So when you're running a survey, you want to know who you benchmark against, industry specific, or measuring against the best, or a range of the best, and we can help you with benchmarks in there. So what we're doing here is we're taking your data, we're going through it in advance and coming back in and presenting to the leadership team and looking at action planning. And this is all about prioritizing your action plan to understand where should you focus and get the best results for yourselves as an organization, in terms of getting traction on trust and improving the workplace environment. And then I suppose that the ongoing opportunity then is recognition. And I'm going to come on to that in the next few slides here. So that'll come to life a little bit more. So just in terms of recognition and the methodology of the survey, the scoring that we have in the survey is such that in the survey, as you can see here, we have 73 statements actually. I don't know if that sounds like a lot, but it takes people about 12 minutes to fill in the survey. But in the survey, in the main, we make statements, and they're always positive. An example here is, I'm proud to tell others I work here. Another example is, my manager keeps me up to date with important information, or my manager makes their expectations clear. And people respond to the survey then on a scale of 1 to 5. So the response for 5 is almost always true, and the response for 4 is often true. So almost and often are 5 and 4. Now, on a scale of 1 to 5, we consider both 4 and 5 to be a positive response. I think that's really important around Great Place to Work, that you don't think it has to be perfect, that you have to get everything aligned before you engage, and that we only work with great workplaces. We work with organizations across all sectors and at every stage of their development and their growth path. So when we're saying somewhere is a great place to work, it's not perfect, it's not idyllic, it's not awesome every day and high fives coming into the room. It's saying on a scale of 1 to 5, often true or almost always true are the response scores. We have some open-ended questions. I'll come on to those at the end and expand on that a little bit more. So in terms then of recognition, the very first recognition that you can achieve is to be Great Place to Work certified. So this is based on scoring. As you can see here on the screen, the scoring is 65%. So again, we invite everybody to respond to the survey. And then based on the responses of those who come back who do respond to the survey, excuse me, once you score 65% or above, then you're a Great Place to Work certified. So if you like, it's like a pass or fail. So at this stage, you're not being compared to any other organization. You're not in competition with any other organization. You're working towards that score of 65%. And if you don't achieve that in year one, that's okay, because we'll know exactly the specific areas where there's any deficiency, and we can help you in that. And then importantly, what I always say here with certification is that there's no deadline for certification. So you can engage at any time. And then when we run the survey, if you achieve certification, once you're certified, you're automatically certified for a 12-month cycle. So, for example, if we engage with you early in the new year and then you're certified in March, you'd be certified from March 2025 around to February 2026. And once you're certified, then you're automatically included for consideration with best workplaces and the various sector awards and recognition awards that we have. So the first step is to be Great Place to Work certified. That score is 65% based on the people who do respond, and we're always looking for a majority response from your people. And then once you're certified and you have that 12-month cycle, you have the opportunity then to celebrate that both internally and externally. We have a great digital marketing team here, and they will help you with certification celebration through LinkedIn and giving you the logos for your website and every other opportunity, and then to help you with certification packs, as we call them, which are like celebration packs, which you can use internally. And that's an opportunity not to be missed or underestimated, I think. So as I say, once you're certified, then you're included for consideration in these best workplaces considerations. Upcoming ones, earliest, the first two would be best workplace for health and well-being, and the tech sector list, which is best workplace in tech. And the idea here is that, having said with certified, there's no deadline. There is a deadline for best workplaces lists always, because if you think about it, this is a comparative domain that you're in now, which is the best of the certified organizations. So you need to be certified first before you can be included. So the first two lists to be certified for are, as I say, best workplaces for health and well-being and best workplaces in tech. And they will be published in April and May of 2025. So more than happy to chat through this on a one-to-one basis and talk about your organization, find out what the challenges are for you as an organization and how we can help support that, and then look at timelines that suit you. So I know that we'll have a link that we can share where it's possible for you to book a meeting with me automatically. The diary is open still before Christmas. So it'd be great to get the conversation started now with a view to getting your survey launched early in the new year. And the diary will be open early in the new year as well. So we'll have an opportunity to pick up on the conversation there. So those top three best workplaces are our sector of special recognition lists, and then we have the two national lists coming up as well. And you would be engaging for Best Workplaces 2026 by engaging in next year. Just in terms of, to give you an idea, obviously, in terms of reporting, and to give you a sense of what that looks like. Obviously, we have the data reports. More importantly, that feedback session when we're coming back in is a dynamic PowerPoint style presentation where we're going through your data. And our style is very much, I would say, to come back in and talk to you about your data and work through your data and what might be a surprise or what might have been expected. So what we don't do is we don't arrive and say, here's your results, here's your action plan. It's very much more conversational than that. But happy to give you an idea on that. I'm just going to answer a question here. I think I've kind of answered it there. It just popped up in terms of the question. Is there a timeline for 2025 certification deadlines for surveys? When can we expect results and certification? So 3 questions in the one and 3 very good questions. So in terms of certification for 2025, you can survey in January. The process takes about 6 weeks to turn around. When we're coming back with your results, if you score 65%, then you're certified and you're into that role. Example of 12 months that we talked about there. And yeah, so that's that, I think. And this slide, I call this the train track, but this gives you a very good idea of what the Great Place to Work analyzed program cycle looks like. So again, as I say, it's a 3-year program. Many organizations do get certified in year 1, but it depends, I suppose, on what your starting point is and where you're coming to us from. So initially we have registration, then we have that call with our client success team. You submit your company brief, and then we're launching the survey, coming back to results and feedback, insights and action planning. And you start to build out your action plan after that. And then if you achieve that 65%, then you're Great Place to Work certified. Now for organizations, only organizations over 300 people, for inclusion in best workplaces, we look for another document, which is called a culture audit. And this is 5 open-ended questions where you tell us more about your culture. And that really tells us really what the investment is that you've made in your culture. The survey then tells us how well that is landing and being received and being valued by your people. So if you have a culture audit, so submit of over 300 people, that's here. Excuse me. And then if you're under the 300, there's no culture audit required at all, and you're automatically included into the best workplaces recognitions. And then you're into the process of action planning, building out your program and engaging with your people to build that action plan together and to bring them in under the banner of being a great place to work. And, you know, I suppose without stating the obvious, when we talk about a great place to work, we're talking around trust and the importance of trust. And great workplaces are those workplaces that pay attention to building a higher trust environment with a view to building higher performance, whatever performance shape that takes. So I know from our call today, we have a range of sectors on the call today. From we've hospitality, we've retail, we've legal, public sector, private sector. Obviously, we have tech, construction, design, engineering. So apologies if I'm leaving any of you out, but I had a quick look before we started. So naturally, there's a full range of organizations in there. Each industry with different priorities. A main one being talent. And so for us, when we talk about talent, it's retention first. So it's very much looking at your survey data with a view to saying, well, how can we retain the people that we have and what is it that they value? And that data tells us that. Now, so I see some questions in here, I think. Oh, they're actually in the chat now. So what I had was some questions have come in advance, which I can work through here. But as you've taken the time to join this morning, if you have any questions at all, please fill them into the question and answer box, and we can come back with those. As I say, I know Marina is going to share a link for you to connect with me, and I can answer your questions on a one-to-one basis afterwards. Happy to do that. But if there's an opportunity for you now to ask a question in the group, that can help you, and it can help other people as well. So some of the questions that came in advance was, do we survey all employees? So we invite all employees throughout all levels of the organizations to fill in the survey. This question here was, what about non-office workers and non-native English speaking? So the survey is fully mobile and compatible. So people can fill it in on a mobile phone, on an iPad. They can fill it in remotely. Obviously, a huge amount of our clients are offering hybrid and remote workplaces. So that's fully compatible. And we have a full range of language opportunities. What I would say is we can talk to you specifically about the questions, about the languages that you need. And now, is the survey confidential? It is absolutely 100% confidential. And that's really, really important piece. So thankfully, a question coming in here. So question is, when is the first opportunity to give our employees the survey? The question from the audience here is, when is the first opportunity to give our employees the survey? So if I understand the question correctly, it's how soon can you survey? So early in January, I would say, is the first opportunity at this stage. We get you registered as an organization that you want to engage, and then we set up that call that I mentioned earlier with client success. And on that call with client success, they will map out pre-survey communication, get your employee template or that map of the organization, and then we can look to launch the survey. So realistically, I would say at a minimum, you're looking at a 2-week window there in terms of preparation. So certainly by the middle or third week in January, we would be well able to launch a survey. So we could register you as an organization this side of Christmas, and I know we have some organizations registering this week and next week and having their call with client success. So we're able to get up and run and launch that survey whenever suits you. The next question then from Ashling. Thank you, Ashling, for the question. Are employees resurveyed annually for recertification to be obtained? Yes, they are. The simple answer is yes. So if you think about the process as being a cycle, in year one, we survey, we capture your data, we're coming back with your results. Then your action planning, looking to work on those areas. And then in year two, you're launching the survey again, and that's where we can get into internal benchmarking and see where have you made traction or where have you made improvements on to work towards. So it's a survey and that cycle in year one, year two, and year three. Ashling, and thanks for that. Thanks for that question. Let me just try and access the other questions here. So I see a question here from Natalie. Is there a minimum number of people required in the workplace in order to, one, get certified, and two, compete in the awards? That's a very clear question. So is there a minimum number of people required in the workplace in order to get certified? So the minimum number is 10. So once you have 10 to 20 people, you can be Great Place to Work certified. So from 10 to 20, Great Place to Work certified. 20 and above, then you're included into the best workplaces recognitions. So to answer your question, the minimum is 10 for certified and 20 for inclusion in best workplaces. So once you're certified and you're over 20, you're automatically included into the other best workplaces awards. Now, Marina, I don't seem to be able to access the chat, and I think I may be missing some questions in there. I could just see Natalie's question there, but I couldn't see any others. So I don't want to miss. I don't know if you can scroll on the webinar chat for me to see if there's any other questions there. I'll keep an eye on that. If there's no other questions coming in, I'll go back to the questions that came in advance. And I was going through that one around confidentiality. It is 100% confidential, and that's really, really important that you communicate that to your people. Generally, we see an increased response rate when we run the Great Place to Work survey above and beyond internal surveys, because people know we're an external expert and can give the results back to the organization. So fundamentally, what happens is we launch the survey from us in Great Place to Work to your people, and their responses come back to us. We then will only share them on a basis where confidentiality and anonymity is maintained. So I see a question around fees there. Yeah, and there are fees involved, and it based very much around your headcount. So in terms of a small organization, which starts at 20 people, in terms of best workplaces, your investment figure there is around 6,900 for most small organizations. And then a medium organization, we would say roughly, and it depends on the organizations participating in the year, but medium organizations really from 100 and up, your investment figure is close to 9,000 there, and that covers everything. So that covers all of the pre-survey preparation, running the survey, and gives you access to every recognition. So there's no additional fees as you go along. That gives you everything there. And then large organizations, well, I suppose it depends on how large the organizations are, and that's something where we'd really want to have a conversation with you, depending on the surveys you want to run. Would you want to run pulse surveys during the year? The level of additional insight reporting that would give you dashboard reporting, which is useful for a larger organization. So we can really get into that for you. So there's a question there. We have 18 people. So what are the fees? So we have 18 people. The one recognition opportunity is to be Great Place to Work certified, and the investment figure there is 4,900. And that covers everything in the process, again, in terms of the pre-survey, the survey launch, and the feedback session for you. So 4,900 if you're under 20 people. And we do, so the question here from Lorraine around do we have lower rates for non-for-profits or charity organizations? And we do. We offer a discounted rate for charity and non-for-profit. We look to support those kind of organizations because they're very important, and it's part of our mission to do that. So we offer a reduced rate, Lorraine, and happy to talk to you about that. Again, it depends on the size of your organization, but we do offer a reduced rate in that. So, Aisling, a question in terms of when the certification expires, are the fees applicable again? So, in terms of fees and in terms of engagement with us, you're engaging with us on a 3-year basis. And just to talk into that a little bit, you're engaging with us for 3 years. You pay the fees annually as you go along. So, let's say in year 1 you're certified, and then you're into that cycle. So, we'd be matching the survey to run the survey so that if you achieve 65% in year 2, that your certification timeline would be in keeping with the certification banner you have already, and that's when fees are applicable. And then likewise in year 3. So I hope that helps. One other early question there was, does everyone see the results? So ideally, we're sharing them with the leadership team and possibly HR or whoever else you decide should be in the room. And then from there, typically what we're doing is helping organizations cascade the results in a digestible and understandable way for people in the business. So whomever the organization decides should see the results will see them. It's a lot of information for everyone to take in, but we will help you with cascading that as well. Now, sorry, excuse me a second here, Clyde. So there's a question in the in Q&A in terms of if an organization, so sorry, the question is, if a company gets less than 65% in the initial survey, what does that mean? So if you're scoring less than 65%, it means that you're not certified yet. Now, when I talk about that 65% score, it's an average of 65% across some specific statements in the survey. So if you've not achieved 65%, it means there's a deficiency in some areas. So what that means is that you're falling short from the required standard. So certification is a certification standard, and you're falling short of it. So what that means is you're not certified, but there will be some areas where you're higher probably than 65%, some possibly lower. And our role then in the feedback session is to help you and support you and identify what is causing that shortfall in the score. It can be a range of many things that's causing that. So that's the work of action planning and into year 2, so that we can help support you and see from there then. In terms of some of the Q&A, again, around 340 employees, what would be the fee there? The fee there, I'd say a starting fee would be 13,900. There may be additional reporting required. Again, as I say, it depends on the requirement of the organization, whether it's multi-location, whether people are hybrid or remote. All these sort of pieces will have an impact in the level of service that you need. But we're very clear on our pricing and happy to work through that on a one-to-one basis with you. More than happy to do that. Another question involved that came in early here was, do I need a lot of resources to complete the program? And the answer is no. You don't. We've retooled and rebuilt this program so that it's much lighter on the desk of our organizations and our client organizations. We have the support facilities here within our organization to support you. So there's really that call with client success in the beginning, preparation around the survey, completed the company brief, and then we launch the survey. We monitor that. We're coming back with the results, and we're doing the feedback. So there's very little work for you as an organization to to complete. Now somebody's asked around the cost for 97 employees. I don't have that exactly to hand, Lynn, but I will pick that. I will pick that up. I suggest around €10,000, something like that. But I can come back to you on that exactly, on a one-to-one. If you want to drop me a line, I'd be more than happy to talk that through with you. That would be great. So I think that is all the questions that I see at the moment. Anyway. And we've gone through all the other pieces. So I hope that's given everybody a good sense of the program, the 3-year piece, what the cycle looks like, and how we can engage and support you no matter what sector you're in or what stage you're at as an organization. Thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate all the questions that came in as well. And as I say, more than happy to. I know I can see lots of connections coming in there, so I'll be following up with you. But do drop me a line, and I look forward to meeting you and picking up the conversation. In the meantime, I want to thank Marina for her support for me today, as always, in the background, keeping everything running. So thank you very much for that, and just to wish you a happy Christmas, everybody. And I look forward to speaking to you, some of you before Christmas, hopefully, and then picking up conversations and getting into 2025, and hopefully getting you recognized and certified as a great place to work. So that's it. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Thanks.